Hi, folks, this is Mountainman coming to you from parts unknown. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, I'm getting here a little bit late, but I'm here. So, anyway, I guess everybody's had time to digest some of the stuff that's coming out about Mr. Epsteinio, and there was a second document dump concerning him. 300 and some pages. Got a little bit of information on that. And there's a couple of schools of thought on it. And we'll get into that. So we also had another unfortunate incident at a school. Some people feel that was a distraction being let out in the newspapers. The Epsteinio drop. Just having a sip of my coffee. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing all right. And we'll go over that stuff. Hi, Nikki. How you doing? Miss Mindersue. Marilyn. Hi, Angel. Hash Browns. Nice to see you. So, we got everybody rolling. And hi, Debbie. Hi, Kim. Marilyn. So, it is tragic about the school. And right away, if I've got it, I'll put it up about Patricia Dixon. She was the first one I heard from because I get little alerts, when you subscribe. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I go live. But anyway, I saw where she put up something that said, what is this Iowa school thing? Here we go. And I said, Iowa school? What happened? It was the first thing I heard about. Distraction from Epstein's documents. This is on UTizzle. Police respond to reports of a HOUNTS at Iowa High School. I said, oh my goodness. Parents, check your kids. And there's the cops walking all around. And I thought, well, if it was just a distraction, maybe nobody got hurt. Maybe it was just a like when they did those BOMB calls to the state capitals. You heard about that? About half a dozen or 5 or so state capitals going on high alert because somebody phoned in a BOMB threat, right? Jersey Doe, how you doing? Andrew, how you doing? Angel's here. B-Dog's here. Just seeing Ingrid. How you doing? So I said, oh, wow, let me see what I can find out about it. So, I was like everybody else, seeing what the Epstein documents were all about. And I put up a list of names that, didn't surprise too many people, and I couldn't say, hey, what's the authenticity of it, but it's all the names we're fully expecting. So then this comes out. Where's it at? Boom, right here. End Wokeness puts this out. A few videos. This comes out. End Wokeness. The mass HOOT at Perry High School has been identified as Dylan Butler. It appears that the Pew Pew person was an online alphabet activist and part of the community. Watch the story disappear in 3, 2, 1. So we're wondering how many people were on the ball enough to grab what they could, information about this individual who his opinion is, or his, I don't even know what you call it without them accusing you of something. But anyway, this person here thinks he is a candidate for, I don't know, birthing someone or menstruating or something. I don't know. I can't keep up with it. But anyway, here's some of the stuff they, I guess, spray print on the walls. Here we go. Took too much. What is that? I guess, I don't know if what social media that is. But here we go. Transitioning. Let's see. Question for those who haven't started transitioning yet. What's holding you back? Dialing pickle. I don't want to look ugly. And then somebody deleted their response, I guess, to Dialing pickle. It doesn't matter what you want to do. It's you. So I don't know. Apparently this person survived. I've got a little news clip I'll play from that. But they say they had an IED on them, right? Here from Fox News. Explosive found. 6th grader. Now, this was a YouTube video, and they could put words up like that, but I have to spell them out or I get in trouble. Hi, Rick. How you doing? So, 6th grader KI and then LLED. Dylan Butler identifies suspect. 5 hurt, 1 unalived. Now, we're getting some people in. When I get some more in, I'll play, let's see. I'll play a video of the news briefing on this subject. But here we are once again. And in my past broadcasts, I've gone down my list of how many, half a dozen at least, that involved alphabet people, okay? It's right now the vast majority of these types of incidences are caused by people who used to be diagnosed as gender dysphoric. And who used to have a 75% unaliving rate of themselves. And they proudly say now, hey, it's just a little over 50% now. Well, that's because they have recruited so many people who are so young and don't understand the consequences of their actions. And when they do, when it sinks in, we're going to see that number skyrocket, okay? Not everybody who decides to present themselves at the gender of their choice is happy. Not all of them get to be successful, get to be the first lady, get to do whatever they want in the world. Most of them end up finding out that they'll never be able to have a natural, what I'll call natural relationship. They'll never be able to consummate a marriage, never be able to have children. And when that sinks in their heads, that's when that rate that I talked about, that rate will jump up. But as long as we have Hollywood doing this kind of stuff, here's Babylon Bees poking a little fun at it. But Disney announced a new person in charge of Lucasfilm, who in the past has given interviews where they said she enjoys making men uncomfortable. So they're going to continue to degrade the biggest franchise in movie history, which was the Star Wars franchise. But now you have Babylon Bee, a new Star Wars film to feature female Jedi who turn to the dark side at the same time every month. So there's one with a purple lightsaber and pink hair. But anyway, it's pervasive. And if I get enough time, I'll talk about it a little bit. What they've been doing with what they have control over. Like the park system, okay? The federal prison system, and most damaging of all. Hi, Mary, how are you? Hope everything's all right. Gloria, how you doing? Charlotte. And yeah, make asylums great again. That's right, Miss Minnesota. Chaos cleanup. How you doing? So anyway, what they're doing, and the most damaging of all, is the public education system. But everything they have these dynamic influences over, they're infesting it with a dysphoric ideology targeting towards young children, and so much psychological damage has been done. But here's a good example. Here's the Forestry Service. This is what they got on UTISL. Now, I'm not making fun of nobody, okay? But what are you looking at? Okay? But here you have these artificial jobs being created, and the military going out of their way, the Forestry Service, the Department of Education, the Bureau of Prisons, Federal Bureau of Prisons, on down the line are going out of their way to say, hey, here's a badge, here's a job, here's income. You just got to not even know what you are, and we don't want you to know what you are. But you're happy, you're happy, yay. And tell me what I'm looking at. That's all I'm asking. Can I ask a question? Remember that Saturday Night Live chick character? What was her name? I can't remember. But nobody knew how to take her or him or whatever. But anyway, Ken Paxton. Don't worry, everything's okay. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is the latest victim of swatting. Don't worry about anything, folks. Everything's okay. They tried to impeach him. They're trying to convict him of some kind of drummed up criminal charges, and now they're swatting his house. Freedom Rider says, I think it's a U.S. Forest employee. Okay, Freedom Rider. Yeah, you have a good time with that. Here we go. Nice to see you, Freedom Rider. Let's see. Here we go. This is put them on the border, enforce the border laws. We got a lot going on that's coming to a head in the Supreme Court. But I'll get to that about this, what they're trying to do to Trump. These, the hangers on, trying to get Trump for any reason. It ain't gonna work. But let's get to Epsteinio. Here we go. Before we get to that, the left laughing at the elite P3DO file ring conspiracy in 2016. The left trying to connect Trump to the elite P3DO file ring they previously denied existed. Man, it's tough being a dedicated person that cannot stand Mr. T. It's tough. It's tough. You got to justify. You just got to justify rationalizations. You got to justify slander. You got to pretend like you don't know what you're talking about, that you never heard that certain things were out and out lies, that you still believe them because you were never shown proof that bald-faced lies were bald-faced lies, or that the economy's being destroyed. But some people, okay, it's better late than never. It's okay to admit you were wrong. Go ahead and scrape that sticker off. Hi, him. How you doing? Jersey Joe. Yeah, Dickie said hit the thumbs up. Yeah, pay attention. Mrs. Bender Sue said pay attention, Freedom. So, I think as long as we don't hear any more seal barking and clapping on certain points, we'll be okay. Here we go. Another Babylon Bee. Boy, I tell you, it'd be fun to work for that company. Epstein docs delayed to give Bill Clinton time to flee the country. Oh my gosh, how you doing, Gary? 12-hour days, Jiminy Crickets. It's like a friend of mine used to say, what do you do? He used to call me Junior. He said, Junior, what do you do when you got a gold mine? I said, I don't know. What do you do? He said, you keep mining. So keep mining that gold. Mine it while you can. So here, let's shoot through some of this Epsteinio stuff here. Here's an article. Second batch of Epstein documents unsealed. So I got a little bit on that. With the first batch that came out, here is... Now, this was News Nation. I'm curious about them. I watch them sometimes because I know they picked up Fredo, right? What's his name's brother? Anyway, the Cuomo kid. So I don't know. It's going to be funny see how they behave. But mentions among the Epstein docs, Alan Dershowitz 137 times. Now, this is kind of stuff that was going around all day. But, you know, I'm well aware just because someone's name was mentioned does not mean that, like, Alan Dershowitz did something bad 137 times. His name was mentioned 137 times. But these are names that are mentioned in some context in a bad light, okay? Clinton, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, of course, Bill Richardson, Leslie Wexner, Al Gore, Donald Trump mentioned 4 times, and I've got most of the 4 times he was mentioned. Michael Jackson, Tipper Gore, Kate Blanchett, Leonardo DiCaprio, among many others. But this is the context, like just because their name is mentioned doesn't mean. But the accuser never met them. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Blanchett. Okay. Accuser never massaged him. Michael Jackson. Performed magic tricks at dinner. David Copperfield. So just because his name was mentioned during the deposition doesn't necessarily mean he's guilty. But this is after the second tranche, whatever you want to say, facing serious allegations. There's Jeffrey. He's a nice guy. Thomas Pritzker, Glenn Dubin, George Mitchell, former Senator George Mitchell, Bill Richardson, governor. Now, he resigned out of nowhere, if you remember that. Marvin Minsky and Jean-Luc Burnell. So there's going to be specific things. Some people are going to be facing over this incident, whatever, they're going to be facing decades in jail. And these people are going to, these accusers are going to speak up. And a lot of people, you know, if nobody's gotten to them yet, if you know what I mean, they're going to see dollar signs. Let me find that one transcript. And all the people who are like, oh, man, I want to see Trump in trouble. Let's see. Let me find that. It would be under this section here. I can't believe that's not in my. Here we go. There, let me put it in my studio and then put it on the screen. Here we go, folks. Did you ever see Donald Trump at Jeffrey's home? Not that I can remember. On this island? No, not that I can remember. In New Mexico? No, not that I can remember. In New York? Not that I can remember. All right. If you could turn to the second page, though, let me know. And then it goes on to say, did you ever give Donald Trump a massage? No, I didn't. So, well, there you go. Donald Trump's name got mentioned. His name was mentioned, exonerating him. So, anyway, here's a little something I'll play. If I don't get in trouble, I'll play this little short clip. And I can't say the words you'll hear in here, and I don't think it's clear enough, but just listen to what somebody hollers at him from the background.
Nobody can dispute the fact that we need, oh yeah?
Did you all hear that? I might have to boost the volume on that and then come back and play it again. Let me play it one more time.
Nobody can dispute the fact that we need, oh yeah?
Yeah, Bill. You heard what the guy said. You're a R-A-P. I-S-T. What in the world? Here you go. Here you go, freedom, right here. Funny he was, but I don't like what he said on Twitter. But I tell you what, that's still a lucky kid, even though the mother's half nuts. At least he's not playing with dolls, okay, or being asked if he wonders about himself. You know what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm throwing down. Now, before anybody gets too excited, did you guys hear about this? This is going to turn into something big. Florida Health put this quote out. Okay, this is a authorized individual. Thank you, Nikki. This is the Surgeon General of Florida. Let me check the messages real quick. You guys can see it, and a lot of those words I can't say. But anyway, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the Centers, this is what he said. I'm calling for a halt to these MR and then the rest is NA C-19 vaccines. Fauci testimony wrapped up, B-Dog says. Hi, Ken. How you doing? Disbelief about Oprah being on the list. Doesn't shock me one bit. When she had her buddy, and I guess I can say the name now because he's probably going to spend the rest of his miserable life in jail, which is John of God, who Oprah had on her TV show. I don't know if any liberals ever heard about that, but they'll act like they never heard of it. Let me see. I'm just looking through the chats here. And so anyway, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention have always played it fast and loose with that safety of that thing you put in your shoulder. But their failure to test for DNA integration with the human genome, as their own guidelines dictate, when they're known to be contaminated with foreign DNA, is intolerable. Hi, Larry. How you doing? Yeah, that's where John of God is. He's in Brazil for the rest of his miserable life. But, liberals say they're not going to acknowledge stuff like that. They say, oh, Oprah's a wonderful person. And all these other ones that are peddling a bunch of dysphoric garbage into our culture. But you can't say anything about it. You can't say anything, or you'll be called a, name, R-A, and then C, all right, and then I-S-T, right? If you say anything bad about these people, and thank you, Miss Brenda Sue. I appreciate it for going to buy me a coffee, and she appreciates me trying to wake up the masses. Thank you very much for going to buy me a coffee. And I'm going to, not in a combative way, but I'm going to put this picture up again. Because what I see here is the very good possibility of someone who went through an education system that was psychologically abusive to the natural condition of a child. Okay? I could be wrong. But we have people that are grown men and women with medical licenses that are performing double mastectomies on 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 12-year-olds over an ideology. And we have support from the federal government in the form of these jobs that I'm talking about, that I've already talked about at the beginning of the show. And then kids who have not taken that psychological leap that they should never be asked to take. They're shown, here, you can have a job, you can have a badge. Look how happy this person is. It's irreparable damage. And it can never happen again once we get out of this euphoric nightmare. And once we get an honest media, and once we get the misfits, Marxists, and RADICALs out. And what's the line from that song? Hey, teacher, leave them kids alone. So, that's the reason I put this up. It's a disgrace. It's criminal what's going on in our school system. So, I put up plenty of videos. I put up a lot of stuff that shows human suffering and testimonies from people who come of age and try to detransition. And they talk about the heartache. They talk about the nightmare it was for them. And I end up getting taken down. I'm not disrespecting anybody, Freedom. Are you supporting people that get 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds confused about themselves physically and then try to induce them to have surgeries to change their lives forever while they're 9, 10 years old? You answer that to me before you throw any rocks at me. It's not a U.S. Force employee. It's someone who's been indoctrinated into induced mental illness. Induced mental illness. And this is where it started right here. Y'all want to take down statues? Here's one. This offends me, and I'm sure I speak for millions. Can we tear this stuff down? I think that's what it says. Stuff. The biggest fraud that ever got in that office. You're looking at it. If the truth were told, when they ran for the second term, their second term, the Obamas said they supported the Defense of Marriage Act. When they ran for the first term and when they ran for the second term, they hid the fact of their support for gay marriage, their support for transitioning children. And if people had been told that Mike Shell was going to be allowed in the second term to go to schools, if the American people had been told, would you want a person who was a transgender or a drag queen approaching your child? The Obamas would have never won. They had to lie about it. They're a fraud. And these statues will be torn down and melted once everybody knows the truth. Cameraman, how are you doing? Sissy, how you doing? Bambi. I got eyes in my head, Freedom. It's like that Supreme Court justice said about pornography. I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. Okay? Hi, Bill. That's right. Hormone treatments don't go well. Listen, I just, some people weren't in the chats when I put this up. But here we go again. Where's it at? It's leading to mass red rum. This is probably the 7th or 8th situation. Okay? The one that happened today. A 6th grader is no longer with us. Used a shotgun and a handgun. And I don't know what happened to that person. But let me play this news report right here. And get this, folks. Listen to this. Is the news going to say, is this SH and then the rest is Ootings? Were they done by members of the alphabet community? Were they done by people who left manifestos behind? No, you listen to what this one reporter asks. But listen to the whole thing. But you won't believe how they try to steer the narrative.
The shooter has been identified as 17-year-old Dylan Butler, a student at Perry High School. Butler was armed with a pump-action shotgun and a small-caliber handgun. Butler also made a number of social media posts in and around the time of the shooting. Law enforcement is working to secure those pieces of evidence. All evidence thus far suggests that Butler acted alone. There are 6 victims, one of them who is deceased. That individual was a 6th grade student at Perry Middle School. The other 5 are being treated at area hospitals. 4 of the surviving victims are students, and the 5th is a school administrator. The law enforcement response was swift and immediate. Roughly 150 officers from local, state, and federal agencies responded within the hour. The investigation in today's tragedy is ongoing. The Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation.
Now, unless I missed it, I didn't hear them talk about the condition of the perpetrator, but I heard that they tried to make it look like they wanted to unalive themselves. I mean, you got to really screw it up if you can't, with a shotgun or a pistol, you can't go ahead and take care of business if that's your true meaning. But anyway, let it finish.
Is serving as the lead investigative agency with assistance from the Perry Police Department, the Dallas County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, the ATF, and the Dallas County Attorney's Office. At this time, we will take a few questions.
Mitch, Philip Jones from the Register. I was told by the father of a student who was shot that his son witnessed Principal Dan Marburger be shot. Is he the administrator, and what is his condition?
The investigation's ongoing, and we're not releasing any other names other than Dylan Butler's name at this time.
Can you give us any indication as to motive for this? I know this is ongoing, but...
Anything into the background of him is part of the investigation, and we're obviously going to take a deep dive into that, but there's nothing that we can release at this time.
Yeah, where would you give us the status of the other 5 who were in the hospital? Are they stable? Are they critical?
At this time, it's my understanding as of about an hour ago, one was in critical condition, but appeared not to be life-threatening, and the other 4 are stable.
Is any racial motivation in this shooting, and are there any Latino victims?
As far as the ethnicity of the victims, I'm not sure, and there's nothing to indicate at this time that it had anything to do with race. As far as motive, again, that's part of the background investigation, and that's something that we're continuing to look into.
Sir, excuse me, there's no video.
Tried to ask if it was based on any ethnicity. The one particular reporter saying, was it any Latinos? Would they have been Latino? No, it was just someone dysphoric who was losing their mind, who's taken drugs and taken hormones and is lost. And I hope some people got a hold of that social media, but we'll see as things roll on.
Online, is there any credibility to this?
I haven't seen the video, and that I don't know at this time, but law enforcement is working to secure those pieces of evidence, as I mentioned in the statement, so there's nothing more that we can comment on about that.
This is the first time that we've heard someone from the middle school being involved in the shooting. Do you have an idea as to the path this suspect took?
It all happened in the Perry High School, and it was before school started, so there were not many students, and it's our understanding that there was a breakfast program going on, so there may have been students of different grades, if you will, in the school at that time. But it all was contained in the Perry High School, not in any of the other buildings.
How many shots were fired? Weapons.
That's still part of the investigation. We're trying to determine that.
How sophisticated was the IED?
Explosive device?
I'm sorry, one of you?
Explosive device?
Yes.
What else can you tell us?
Not much about it, other than it was pretty rudimentary, and it was rendered safe by, like I said, the State Fire Marshal and the ATF.
Given that the investigation is ongoing and this is a local and state matter, you know, however, the eyes of the world are on Iowa over the next 11 days. How should the candidates running for president talk about what happens?
Well, I'll let them.
The issue of school violence generally.
I'll let them decide how they're going to talk about it. We're going to focus on the investigation, and we're going to focus on making sure that we provide the resources that the community, the teachers, the staff, those that are involved, the families, that we're providing the resources that they need during this difficult time.
The Iowa caucuses for the next 11 days. The world is going to be watching Iowa. So, and this is the governor who pretty much betrayed Mr. T, but we'll see how she's continuing to answer the question.
I'm going to be focused on, the state of Iowa is going to be focused on, and I'll let the candidates decide what they're going to focus on.
Worry they might
Thank you.
politicize it?
We're going to take no more questions at this time.
What does the
Thank you.
For school safety for other schools in the area that we're looking at this year, what does school safety look like going forward here in Iowa?
Well,
as it was commented on by the chief and by the governor as well. that, everybody reacted the way they should. And it's obvious that training, first of all, at the school level, with faculty and students, everybody reacted absolutely.
Except for whoever was pushing this insanity. This person was 17 years old, they said. 17. One of the reporters, I believe, described him as a man. Okay? But this business started way before today. I'm sure that picture of it is him probably in a school bathroom. This one communication here was 2 years ago. Okay, when he was 15 years old. Question for those who haven't started transitioning yet. What's holding you back? I don't want to look ugly. So somebody got in a young mind, at the very least from the age of 15. Probably much sooner than that. Let's see. Let me see what freedom's going on about. That's right. We're free to talk. I'm being irresponsible with my comments. Wait a minute. I should have took screenshots where you're talking about how wonderful the First Amendment was. And it's the most important amendment to be able to speak. I can't speak for children. I'm being irresponsible with my person being a part of the alphabet. Wait a minute. The chats keep jumping around on me. I can't get it one spot so I can read it. Let me see. Part of the alphabet community. What does that mean? USA, MAGA? This is a tragedy that I am politicizing. I'm pointing out that the Uvalde shooter was prancing around in a dress, okay, with a cheerleader outfit on. The one who went to the 4th of July celebration on rooftops and pew-pewed a bunch of people, ran away dressed like a woman. There were 4 other situations just like this one in Iowa, and they were alphabet community. I'm saying that over half a dozen of the most recent incidences like this were all involved the alphabet community. So you're going to tell me that's not a problem? Use your head, man. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. No, he's not a troll, Bambi. He's just stubbornly holding on to his facts. Hi, Marla. He's stubbornly denying facts of life. And one breath, the First Amendment's the most important thing. We got to be able to have open and free dialogue. And the next thing is I'm being irresponsible with my comments. So pick a side. Hey, Araceli. Yeah, the reporters were also politicizing. Was this against Latino people? It was done during the free breakfast hour, okay? I remember my mom getting mad about lunches. She's saying somebody's too damn lazy to make their kids lunch for school. We got to pay for it. That was many years ago. How many people out there, their mothers made them lunch? And I don't want to hear any cheap excuses either. Well, this and that. Here you go, right here. I can't afford to pay for my kids' school lunch. We barely make ends meet starter pack. Okay, got your Bud Light, your Marlboro cigarettes, whatever that crap is, scratch cards in the background, and tattoos. Now they're handing out breakfasts. And the thing is, why was she asking about, was it primarily Latinos who were the victims? Is it because of stuff like this? Illegal aliens line up for blocks to receive free taxpayer-funded housing in New York City. Video. I mean, block after block after block in New York City. But all around the country, you got kids showing up with hepatitis, a pocket full of stink bugs from Guatemala, can't speak a lick of English, have nothing to eat, no money, and they're showing up at schools. And they're not supposed to be in this country. It's breaking the law. But if you say anything about it, you're irresponsible. Melt that statue down you're looking at right there. Melt it down and beat it with a hammer. They're the ones that started all this stuff with a lie. And, of course, they want to talk about gun control. But here's George Takei. But those 20 million AR-15s now in the country could sure arm a lot of Ukrainians, George Takei says. And she says, thanks for acknowledging the entire reason for the Second Amendment is so important, genius. And she's Latino, okay? Sarah Gonzalez. Yeah, there are conservative Latinos just like there's conservative black people. Conservative Asians, conservatives all over the spectrum who are tired of the school system being used to psychologically abuse children. We're sick of it. A fake president gets a fake SHOT from a fake nurse in a fake White House, while the fake news claims that everything has been fact-checked and is real. This is the kind of nutty-ass world we're living in. Hi, Clay. How you doing? No, he comes in. He's not a bot or anything like that. We just argue back and forth. You know, it makes it worthwhile to point counterpoint, right? I should have took a screenshot of one of the quotes where he said, that's what it's all about. A back and forth, I think, was the comment. But it would take me forever to go find it and screenshot it or whatever. So bots don't get engaged in a conversation. They just have general comments that, are computer generated, not keeping up with the conversation. So we have a difference of opinion, and I put up stuff and, hey, argue with it. Say your point. If somebody out there can justify how somebody can tell an 8 or 9-year-old child, put stuff in their mind to confuse them about their identity with the ultimate goal of having them chemically or surgically altered. Anybody can justify that. Or they think they are a good person by ignoring it and letting it happen. I want to hear it. That's right, Christopher. We can try to red pill and have a healthy discussion. That's right. I mean, you know, the biggest arguments you ever see is in a tight-knit family. You see close families and stuff. Boy, but you ever been to the house when they start to get into it? But I know I'm serious about what I just said. How can anybody justify not raising a stink about people that have predilections, okay, for little ones? How can we not raise a stink about them being in jobs at schools and influencing these children in a harmful way? How can anybody justify a teacher telling a kid, don't let your parents know we're transitioning you. You come here and then we'll change you into a dress, and then before you go home, we'll put your regular clothes on. Who can justify that? That person needs to go to jail. Inducement, it's what it's called. But, you know, what I was talking about was the tip of the iceberg. That this is the tip of the iceberg. Let's not forget, I put this up about Disney, all right? The Babylon Bee thing. Let's not forget, Disney sent a cruise ship on a regular basis to that island full of kids, okay? Disney is up to its elbows in this stuff. Disney also owns ABC. ABC also owns The View. And I think anybody who thinks they're entitled to a harem when they martyr themselves, when they being against Israel, I hope their harem is The View. I hope that's what they end up with as a harem, The View. But anyway, this is the tip of the iceberg because this character right here is one of many examples. New allegations. New Jersey Democrat Senator Bob Menendez faces new allegations of making positive comments about Qatar in exchange for luxury items in a superseding indictment returned Tuesday in New York. Don't forget, he had charges pending against him half a decade ago when Trump was in the White House by himself Christmas and they were doing the government shutdown, and Bob Menendez and a bunch of other House members went to Puerto Rico, I believe it was, were bathing in sunbathing on the sand in Puerto Rico, and he just barely got out of some charges for inappropriate behavior with young people and financial crimes. He got away with that stuff. Now he's been caught with these gold bars and playing footsie with Qatar. Okay? Qatar is where Iran's money is supposedly being held. You know, the plane loads of cash and gold that were sent by President POS. Where's he at? They got a statue of him right here. An American jihadist who happens to be GAY. And don't tell me he's not. He's as a $3 bill. Here we go. I have to march because my mother could not afford abortion. Maxine Waters, Turning Point Action. Ha ha ha. Yeah, a few of us cynical people would say it's too bad your mother couldn't afford one. But being that we find life precious in all stages and conditions, we won't say that. Just like we won't say Chris Christie's a fat pig. Yeah, that's right, single songwriter. You see who he'd walk around, who's got in tow, right? Ha! Tear down Turdo statue. Oh, that's right, Diane. The picture of Bob Menendez in a hot tub. Yeah. With young'uns. We're going to find out so much when I get after the 10th, I think it is. I will be able to put up a few pictures that I'll probably get in trouble for, but they're not bad. But where I'm getting them from is verboten. Like I put up black eye pictures, people in the Black Eye Club. Freedom, have you ever heard of the Black Eye Club? If Freedom's still out there. I tell you never saw a picture of Donald Trump with no black eye, I can tell you that. But we got pictures of people with black eyes. Well, that's right, Ken. As soon as you heard his name, you knew it was the beginning and the end. And how could I ever get my time back running around putting up McCain signs? I didn't know that he was just as big a bum as any of them. No, he's a war hero. Like hell he is. He's a traitor. And he got a traitor's funeral. If anybody was paying attention. Here, let me put this one up. Wait a second. I can't have too many pictures up at one time. Take Menendez's picture down. And this right here. Feeling relaxed, refreshed, and reinvigorated to get back to work. I come back with a taste of freedom, still fresh in my mouth, a renewed hatred for work, and a strong suspicion that this is not what I should be spending my life doing. The reason I'm putting this up is because we talked a couple of broadcasts ago, very briefly, about the hamster wheel. About the printing of money that devalues the currency and how we're all in a two-parent working households. Nobody has time for leisure. Nobody has time for inflection. They go to their job and they get home and they get these little crumbs thrown to them as weekends, vacation or whatever, and they don't realize they're on a hamster wheel. Well, we are, and it's going to get worse. Let me see. Here we go. It's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse quick. I keep warning people. I don't want them freaking out, but the U.S. national debt, $34 trillion, blah, 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 blah. Let's take a look at this. Debt per citizen, $101,224. Here's the real kicker. Debt per taxpayer, $264,090. Yeah, misspelled keywords, folks. And caps get people to look at the chat a little too hard. But anyway, so. And before anybody starts with the usual, Trump increased the national debt, and Reagan increased the national debt, and Bush increased the national debt, Clinton increased the national debt. Just like Reagan said, The government spends too much. That's the problem. That we don't tax enough. It's that we spend too much. Congress is the one that controls the purse strings. Trump brought in billions of dollars in tariffs, billions and billions in tariffs that no president had ever done. He had the UN paying their share for the UN building proper in terms of hundreds of millions, and other nations paying for their own defense. They had to kick in tens of billions. Trump did his job, but Congress didn't do theirs. Just like I was saying, when Trump was stuck in the White House, Christmas Eve, and there was an a nation tempt on him. Remember that? When they shut the government down and people like Bob Menendez went and sat on the beach. Demanding the government be shut down until we printed more money and spent more money. That was Congress's doing. And don't forget, Trump has that picture of Jackson around him many times when he's trying to make a point. Jackson ended the central bank and he paid off the national debt. Andrew Jackson. He called the money from the central banks rag money. Hi, single songwriter. How are you doing? That's right. John McStain was a traitor and a coward. There's no reason to soft pedal it. Where in the world? I hope you all didn't scare off my what you had, Rowan and Martin, and you had Abbott and Costello, you had Laurel and Hardy, and now I ain't got nobody to argue with. Where'd Freedom go? Oh, man. Maybe he was a bot. I'm just kidding. He wasn't no bot. Well, I've said many times, you can't, I'm reading one of the chats from way up as far as I could go. You can't save every fallen robin, and you can't right every wrong. But I tell you what, the bottom line is we've got to stand our ground because the kids are really suffering. But, this is a point right here. We've been over this. But the New York Post put this out. Harvard dropout, defiant school pres resigns over anti-Semitism. That's what I was saying. They all were saying she plagiarized. She didn't plagiarize. She just forgot to say so, credited to somebody. They all made excuses for her, but they all brushed over the anti-Israel rhetoric. And, well, at least the Washington Post put it out there. But she plays the victim, Harvard dropout. Here's an example of her playing the victim right here. Christopher Rufo. This is from the AP. The AP. A conservative activist who helped orchestrate the effort to get rid of this person, this plagiarist, this anti-Semite, celebrated her departure as a win in his campaign against elite institutions of higher education. On X, formerly known as Twitter, he wrote "scalped," as if gay was a trophy of violence, invoking a gruesome practice taken up by white colonialists who sought to eradicate Native Americans. What idiot wrote this? What idiot wrote this? Who was scalping who? Who came up with scalps? Who had tomahawks, you morons? That was the least thing that they would do, an Apache would do to you, was scalp you. I'll talk about that more. I've gone over my hour, but I'll talk about things I didn't talk about with the Aztec Empire. Gruesome things that they used to do. But they say the practice of scalping was white colonialists to eradicate Native Americans. What an idiot. You know, so they try to play it on race. They try to say, oh, you're being mean and unfair to somebody. Like with climate change here. Here's a good one. Doctor, I'm depressed because of the weather in 30 years. Have you tried destroying priceless artwork to make you feel better? Their thinking is dysphoric. But about this woman here, like Citizen Free Press put up, plagiarism might have cost Claudine Gay the presidency of Harvard. But plagiarism didn't stop her from remaining on the faculty making $900,000 a year. Lesson, cheaters in fact do prosper. $900,000 a year. That's what Trump's talking about, confiscating the endowments of these colleges and start to hand out some financial knuckle sandwiches for promoting Marxism, okay? And the harmful things I've already discussed about what they're doing with kids. But here's some good news. Posobiec's, I guess this is publication, Post-Millennial. Sound of Freedom beats out Taylor Swift's Eras tour film for top 10 highest grossing films in 2023 in the U.S. Sound of Freedom, highest grossing independent film of all time. Oh, he's probably, I don't know where he's at. Probably, I don't know. So, where was the next thing I was going to put up? I had another one I was going to put up. Oh, here. General Flynn. General Mike. Never on Epstein Island or in Epstein's homes. Fully exonerated. Receives an FBI raid. 91 felony charges. Clinton, quote, liked his girls young, unquote, and visited Epstein Island more than 25 times. No FBI raid, 0 charges. Are you paying attention yet? Wake the hell up. In other words, here, right here. Fact. Here we go. F-A-C-T, fact. I'll tell you what, if I came home from school when I was 8 years old and told my dad that my teacher asked me what I wanted to be, what kind of S3X I wanted to be, that teacher had been picking up their teeth with a broken arm. And nobody would have said a damn thing to them. And they'd have been gone out of the school system. Trump should get your vote just for his war on P3DO files and sex trafficking rings alone. Not one name on the Epstein flight logs has endorsed Trump. But every single one has endorsed Biden. Every single one. So if that doesn't wake up, don't worry, we're going to be hearing from Joe Biden right here. He's going to give a big speech, right? Biden announced a national address on the dangers of white supremacy on J6 anniversary. Okay. Biden and his Vice President Kamala Harris intend to make fears over white supremacy and domestic terrorism a centerpiece of their re-election campaign. Well, guess what? Entire House GOP leadership endorses Trump. It's time for Republicans to unite behind our party's clear frontrunner, which is why I'm proud to endorse Donald J. Trump for president. I showed night before last where Trump is leading among young voters. Trump is leading among Latino voters. Trump's going to be leading, if truth be told, he's going to be leading with all minority voters. You watch. And it's cliche, but nothing can stop what is coming. And what is coming is retribution. Retribution, which is different from revenge. These are criminal entities, okay, that have been abusing our young people. They've been using the federal government to induce and entice young people to doing things to themselves with lewd and lascivious intentions, okay? Wait a minute. What's this one here? What's this one I didn't get to put up yet? Oh, whoa. I don't want to move that out. I want this one. Did you all know about this? Steve Bannon interviewed Jeffrey Epstein before his arrest, has yet to release 15 hours worth of tape. Have you all heard about that? He's going to let it out when the time is right. He was interviewed by Steve Bannon a few weeks before his arrest. Now, we're talking about his second arrest, I believe. He got let out on an illegal plea deal that Trump had reversed. Trump solely had that reversed. If it wasn't for Trump, Epstein would still be free. Abusing young people. But that's okay with some people out there as long as the Democrat crap can continue forward. Here. Right here. Right here. This is all. Tell me anything on here that's a lie. Hey, liberals. Trump never removed an opponent from the ballot. You did. Trump never used the government against his opponent. You did. Trump never censored speech. You did. Trump never stole an election. You did. You are guilty of everything you accuse Trump of doing. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Because every word of it is true. Here's an idiot for you right here. An idiot. And he's going to get impeached. Wonder if he's on the list. Mayorkas cites climate change as root cause of border crisis. You expect MSNBC to be putting out this garbage. Enemy of the people, right? So, people going to bed. Well, yeah. Help them choose a necktie. All right. Well, I'm going to close out. I got a nice video here about here we go, a fishing trip. Something to brighten your day. A man and his dog. He's got his little German Shepherd there with a sweater on, And anyway, you'll get to see the point once it plays. I appreciate y'all spending your precious time with me. Thank you again for supporting me on Buy Me a Coffee. And Christopher came through for me 40 minutes ago, and I'm just now seeing it. I'm sorry I went on a tirade, Christopher, but I appreciate you helping me out on Buy Me a Coffee. Whoa! What did I do? What did I do? I kicked myself off. Thank you, Christopher. Whoa. I fall off? Did I fall off, folks? Because my screen went black. But anyway, Christopher and Miss Bender Sue, I appreciate you all helping me out with Buy Me a Coffee. I knocked myself off. I'm back now. I'm sorry. But anyway, folks, I'll have to learn how to do that a little bit better. But anyway, you all have a great night. Thank you so much. I'll be talking to you soon. I'll be up tomorrow night. I should be. Make sure you hit the notification bell, subscribe, and you'll know when I go live. Y'all have a great evening. This is Mountainman, over and out. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, gosh. My chat just came up. Oh, okay. Christopher said, we hear you, but no dog walking yet. All right. Okay, folks. Sorry. I'll go ahead and... my mic's on. Good. Okay. All right, Marilyn, thank you so much. And you all have a great night. Good night, Marla. This is Mountainman, over and out.
Holy cow, I got to use the can. I'll be right back. Oh. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, there's a fish moving out there. There's a fish. What do I out, man? There's a fish. There's a fish. Oh, he spends all day in there. Oh, man. What do I do? Let me see. How do you work this reel? Whoa. Oh. Come on. Come here. Come here. Oh, there he is. Whoa. Let me try again. I don't want to get my sweater muddy. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Ha ha ha. Yeah.